Ooh.
There's a lot involved in this conversation.
Yeah, what is mooch docking? I don't think that's actually what we're doing.
What we're doing is we are living.
Yes.
We are isolating. We are staying long-term with family.
Glad we're here.
Today we're going to talk about
We made it.
not wearing out your welcome while you're mooch docking with family or friends.
Ooh.
There's a lot involved in this conversation.
Yeah, what is mooch docking? I don't think that's actually what we're doing.
Hang on. What we're doing is we are living.
Yes.
We are isolating. We are staying long-term with family.
Yeah,
So,
and mooch docking is when you stay for 2-3 nights and then you go, I should move on before things get
awkward.
awkward.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay,
Settle down.
if you are needing to stay in one place for a long period of time, and, well, in our case, it's with family, you have to have that conversation that says, I don't know how long I have to be here, but I'd like it to be amicable so that both of us stay happy and like each other at the end.
Exactly. So communication is a huge part of that. Talking about the expectations.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know what your end date is, which obviously we don't, there's still that expectation that kind of says, is it okay for us to stay here long term? You never want to assume that it's okay. So
That's right.
it might feel awkward to have some of those conversations and to bring up what you might think is obvious. But for people who don't live full-time in an RV, some things aren't obvious.
That's right. When we are staying at my brother's place, if it didn't have sewer, we'd be moving every 7 days, go out and getting those services taken care of and coming back. But with sewer, we can stay for a much longer period of time.
Another thing with having a full sewer hookup is we can do our own laundry. We have our little washer spinner thing in our shower, which means we don't have to impose on our hosts to use their laundry.
So we're no longer guests.
That's the thing. And I think that's the biggest difference between mooch docking and living or staying long term is you're no longer company. You're not considered company anymore. You're considered family or at least a team.
And when you are a community, there are tasks that you should be responsible for. It's easy to not know what the rules are and to cause some disturbance. Like, where do I put my garbage? I'll just assume that I put it here, and all of a sudden everybody's like, the dogs are in it. What did you do that for? And so you have to communicate that.
Yeah, and I think that really segues nicely into one of our main points, which is respect. You have to have respect for each other.
Yes.
So having respect for your host means, what are those rules? And how can we follow those rules? Or if you can't follow those certain way that they do things, you can have a conversation about it. Again, back to communication.
Yeah.
Another way to show respect is to help out around the house.
Absolutely. And be part of the team. And I've already asked, do you have a chainsaw? Do you have some tasks that I can do? And what was great is he says, yeah, I got a chainsaw, but we'll get to that in a few weeks. Other than that, we've got a few other things we want to accomplish.
Yeah, so I think it's always important to, if you're staying at someone's place long term, to be offering to help out with whatever needs to be helped out with, whether it's cleaning or chores or babysitting, or maybe they're saying these days, don't send a whole bunch of people to the grocery store, send one person per household. So carpool grocery shopping, I don't even know what that would be called, but one person gets groceries for everybody, that kind of thing.
Assign the task. So to start the conversation correctly, I sent some money to my brother, and he's like, what's this for? And I said, utilities. And so that came without him asking for it.
Exactly.
And so then you can start to say, hey, what's actually, what's fair?
Yeah, so I think like Kent said, pay your own way, basically.
Yeah.
And again, that changes it from mooch docking or being a guest or being company to now being part of the team and part of the family, is when you offer to pay your own way. Another thing you can do when you're isolating with another family is you can share meals together. So that helps take the pressure off of one person to have to cook for everybody.
Yeah.
Now for us, being in our own RV, we just cook for ourselves.
That's right.
And they do their thing, we do our thing, and it works out really well. But if you're sharing like a house or you're sharing a kitchen or whatever, offer to do your part. Stay welcome as opposed to wearing out your welcome. So another thing you can do is to share your resources, and one of those resources are your skills. So if you have certain things that you can do, like maybe you can paint someone's house for them, or maybe you can do a construction project, or maybe you can do a family photo shoot, whatever your skills are, offer those to your host in exchange for their generosity and their hospitality to you. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing in the whole category of respecting each other is to make sure that you do respect each other's personal space. So we know that if there are little kids involved, quite often they want to always be around the new people, you know, which is great. But it's okay to say, hey, you know, we'll be able to play with you at this time of the day, not at this time of the day. And so just to respect that. Oh, we forgot the most important one.
What's the most important one?
Make sure you have fun together.
Yeah, play.
This is a hard time in life. Things are so uncertain. Nobody is feeling really happy these days. So I think it's important to make sure that you take time to have fun.
Yeah.
Play board games, go for a walk, jump on the trampoline, play with the puppies.
Yes, very important.
Hang out with the goats, feed the chickens, whatever it is that you're doing, maybe go for a bike ride. Just make sure that you're enjoying each other's company and enjoying each other's friendship and fellowship together.
Now, what if it all starts to fall apart and everybody's upset?
I think if that happens, you just need to take a little bit of time to be like not physically separated, but just emotionally separated for maybe a couple of days.
And I think
everybody calms down.
Somebody might have to say sorry.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And let's reset. Let's restart
and forgive for sure. Yeah.
We've actually had that happen years ago. People were in our lives, and all of a sudden it's like this is not working.
Yeah.
When we shared space.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have a level of grace and be tough and just say, hey, we want this to work out.
Mm-hmm.
What do we need to reset so that it works out better?
Yeah, exactly. And some of that does mean saying sorry.
Yeah.
If you're the one at fault, even if you're not at fault, just say, like, I'm sorry that this situation has happened, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry that it's blown up like this, and be able to get back on track. Like you said, give yourself some space, a couple of days to kind of cool down, cool the jets.
Cool the jets.
And then start over. I can't reiterate enough. Good communication and frequent communication. So if that means, you know, once or twice a week, the adults get together over a cup of coffee and just hash out some more details. Look, there's rules here that we don't understand. Can you explain them to us? What's the reason why this rule is here? Or, you know, can you explain to us how we can be more helpful? Maybe you're not feeling like you can be helpful enough. Lots of hosts will say, no, it's okay. And then that can leave the RVer feeling like they're still a guest.
Yeah.
And to bridge that gap and say, look, I don't want to be a guest anymore. I don't want to be company. I want to be part of the team. I want to be part of the family. So
I want to stack firewood. I want to, whatever it takes. I want to do the jobs that are good so that the whole team is better and give more than what is requested.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone says, you know, I go out on Tuesdays, can you watch out the kids for an hour? Say, sure. What other days?
Exactly.
Leave with more being done than less.
Or if somebody asks you for, you know, $50 to help pay for utilities, just give them $100. You know, like whatever those numbers are. I'm not saying numbers wise, but I'm just saying just try and give more than you're taking, and that will usually smooth over any rough spots.
Yeah.
But there's more to being isolated as a full-time RVer.
Yeah, you have to have certain resources.
What we need physically to make this happen. You're gonna need a place to dump your tanks. Every RVer is always looking for a place to dump their tanks.
Yes.
That's the big thing, right? For us, we need Wi-Fi.
Yep.
Because that's how we make our living. That's our livelihood.
We need water.
Mm-hmm.
We need power.
Yep.
Right now we're getting by with 15 amp. It's fine.
And propane.
Yes.
Because that's going to be our heat source and for cooking. So Kent's going to take care of that stuff. He's going to take you for a little field trip around Bessie and around the resources that we have available to us where we are.
So guys, if you're going to be staying at a place for a long period of time, you're going to need some resources. Number one, you're going to need water. So the spigot's over there. I have just enough hose to get it to here. And we have fresh water as much as we need. It's a really good supply of fresh water. It's off of a well, and there's always a good supply. So we have as much water as we could ever need. Yeah, I know. Oh, yes, I forgot. This is a friend of mine. He's got 8 siblings, and he is 3 weeks old. Okay, guys, when you're parked in a yard like this, if you can, we can use 15 amp power, which is just a regular plug. I'll show you. Oh, I'm sorry. This is another friend of mine. Want to introduce you to him. He's 3 weeks old. Okay. We're plugged into our regular wall plug, okay, with a dog bone to adapt to a 30 amp. If I wanted to, and if it was cold out, I could actually take this, get a plug from Home Depot and splice it so that I had 2 electrical cords going into a box and supply full power to this, but I actually don't need to. I'm actually getting enough power. We're good. And so that runs our fridge, runs all of our plugs. It runs a heater at night. It runs and charges all of our systems. We're good. Guys, but the big deal when you're parked for a long period of time is sewer. So we've been blessed. When we got here, there was already a plumbed in septic system. So all we had to do is rebuild this stack. We had to cut it, put the fittings on from Home Depot, and then it screws in so it's airtight and it's all there. And then there's also an electrical plug so that we have the pump working. We already had the guy from the septic service come out and have a look at the floats. He readjusted them. We're good to go. We could stay here indefinitely. So sewer, that was the biggest thing. If we didn't have that, we would be getting up every 7 days, driving away, getting our services, getting our groceries with the rig, and then coming back every 7 days. Without that, we can borrow a vehicle for a couple of hours, take care of what our needs are. We're good to go for a long time. Oh, and this is another puppy. This one I think is the howler. They're getting to the point where they might next week or the week after get out and play. Then there'll be trouble. It's good for puppies to know that life is sometimes unexpected. It's true. So when it comes to propane, there's a few systems that we need to maintain. One is our buddy heater. We've talked about that many times. That we've hooked up actually to a 20-pound tank, so that's an easy exchange. And this will run for a month or 2 with full heat every night. And it's nice heat. It's warming the whole area that we need done. Oh yes, I forgot. This is a different puppy for you. There you go. Isn't this one special? And of course, there's the main propane tank on board, which we had filled up just before we parked here, which we do all our cooking on. And we also run the furnace. So we're trying to run the furnace a lot less. It is quite chilly at night, down below freezing a couple of nights, but also it's still uncomfortable. So that's why the buddy heater allows us to not use the regular tank propane. So we can use that for cooking, heating our water, and we can last a good long time here. So our electric heater, we used it up. So we're using the buddy heater. And again, we could use electric. It does save on the propane. And the way to check the propane is right through here. We're still just over half. And when that gets down to about 1/8, we'll have to unhook Bessie and go and get some propane filled. Yeah, you are. Oh yeah, you are. You're really cute. Oh yeah. All right, this is Jag. How come? Because I know that the one that's all black is Jag, and I don't want to get the other names wrong, so I just refrain from using them. I'll probably tag them in on the video once the girls say, well, that one's June, and then I'll tag in that one's June. But this is Jag. Jag is almost all black. He still has a little bit of white on that tail, as we all know. as we mentioned before. Where is that tail? Where are you? There it is. There's Jag's tail. Okay, got it. All right. Sorry, Jag. Okay. So, Wi-Fi is one of the bigger concerns also. You do not want to have just cellular because you'll eat through too much of it. And to do live streams like we do and other things, it's just better to have a good Wi-Fi signal. Well, we struggled while we were here. We were struggling so much that we thought maybe we'd just go back to a campground for 2 weeks and get a little bit more consistent Wi-Fi there. But I think we figured it out. And it turns out that if I repositioned my Wi-Fi extender, that actually everything improved. And so finally, and we still have a good amount of cellular Wi-Fi, cellular service. So we're pretty set up now. What do you think? Are we pretty set up? Yeah, I think so. So there you go. That was the last big component we had to figure out. So that's about it. But there is one more item that you need to make your life a lot easier. Okay, the last piece that you're looking for to stay somewhere long term is flat level ground. Something that's solid too, so that you don't sink. There's a lot of people that will offer, hey, we have a field. You can park right over there. It'll be great. And it's not going to be great. Your refrigerator may not work. You may not have power without long extension cords. So you have to weigh whether it's going to be good or not. This is a solid foundation here that we're parked on. We can level it once. We don't have to worry about it. And our fridge works. We don't roll off the edge of the bed. It works. We're good. Even though somebody might offer, hey, you could park on my driveway. Not a good idea. Not with a motorhome, not with a trailer. And here's two more for you to have a look at. I hope every one of you have found a good, solid, safe place to land and hunker down and stay for a while with your supplies, your groceries, without the rug being pulled out from under you. Make sure you put more in than you take out when it comes to the family that you're staying with. Don't let them resent the fact that they said yes. Have those conversations. Say, hey, I know life is difficult right now. What can we do to make things better? Where we're at, things are going good. So we're very, very thankful. And I hope you guys are too. The sun's shining. It's starting to get to spring and summer weather. My goodness. Soon, this will all be behind us. We will be RVing full-time, exploring, seeing things, sharing with people, doing more. But for now, we're doing with less, and we're going to do it well.
Hey guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us this week. My name is Lisa.
My name is Kent, and we are Living Light RV.
We're grabbing life by the tail. We know you are too, and we will see you guys next Thursday. Take care.
Yes.
Stay safe.
Jasper's exceptionally quiet for an hour.
Yeah, well, even Daphne, she won't bark or howl unless you really make her, like encourage her to do it. What do you got to say?
Okay. That's your brother or sister. Oh, you're so cute.
Are all the tips of their tail.
All right, Brian.
People love howlers.
One more time.
That's if the people like howling dogs. Are you blowing on them or what are you doing?
Making the noise.